Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a summer/fall going out tutorial. This is basically like a back to school going out look because a lot of people are going to college and they're going to be going out a lot, and you're going to want your face beat when you go out so you can have some good pictures and no flashbacks. So that's what today is about. So I already did my eyebrows and based my eyes off camera. So I'm just going to go in. Let's see. I'm going to use the Masquerade palette by Juvia's Place today. The first color I'm going to use is this one right here, which is like a dark, like a light brown type of color. And it's called Burkina. Seriously, you can make anything. Like, you can make the easiest going out look. All you seriously need is like some glitter or some type of like shimmer on your eyelids, and it's already like you did a whole lot, but you didn't really do a whole lot. So all you really need is like some glitter on your eyes, and you Gucci for the night. The next color I'm gonna go in with is this one right here, and it's in the shade Ada. So I'm gonna take that color and just focus that only in the crease and the outer corner. And I'm just using the same brush that I just used for the transition color. And if you feel like your eyeshadow isn't blended out enough, like if you feel like it's like a harsh line ever, just go back in with like the transition color that you used first. The key to blending is definitely using a transition color before you use any other eyeshadow, because then you can just go back in with that color and go over top and blend out any like harsh lines that you have, because if you don't use a transition color, it's literally going to probably turn out harsh every time. The point of using a transition color is so that it can like gradually fade up, so it doesn't just look like a harsh circle on your eyelid, because that's also not cute. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is cut the crease. This is where we get a little fancy. People get scared to cut the crease, but it's seriously not that deep. All you have to do is follow like where the little crease in your eyelid naturally follows or naturally goes, and just carve it out with some concealer. And this step just makes like going out looks, in my opinion, like I usually only do like cut creases if I'm going out or if I just like want to be extra. But it makes like your whatever shadow you put on top of it, it makes it stand out, and also makes the look 10 times cleaner. So just take a concealer that is a little bit lighter than what you'd normally use and just cut the crease. And then after I cut my crease, I'm going to go in with this red shimmer color in the palette that's called Calabar. Y'all, I swatched this color. Any color that I swatch in the Juvia's Place palettes, they come out so beautifully. Like, I've never swatched any other palette like as nicely as I can swatch this one. Like, I swatched this one so effortlessly. That's how everybody's swatches need to be, as creamy and like effortless as the Juvia's Place formula. So Kim K, take notes, 'cause I don't know about y'all, but if you watch Kim K's snap of the swatches she just posted of her new contour kit that's coming out, she should be ashamed of herself, because those swatches were ass. Swatches are supposed to be like, ooh, yeah, I want to buy that. Like, her swatches are literally like, what the fuck are you doing? You got millions of dollars and nobody taught your ass how to swatch correctly. I just don't understand. And I like Kim K, but seriously, like, if you see those swatches, I don't know what will possess you to spend your money on her products. Look how nicely this shadow goes on. Like, this is with the brush. Like, usually with shimmers, I have to use my finger to make it, to enhance the product. But these shadows go on so pigmented and like so metallic. Support local black businesses because they're doing it right. And then to be extra, you can stop here and just put on some lashes and call it a day, because this is seriously already like a going out look. If you're wearing like a black dress or something like that, this will do it for you. But to be extra, I'm going to go in with my Stila liquid eyeshadow. I'm not going to say the whole name because it's long for no reason. But the Stila liquid eyeshadow in Rose Gold Retro. Just a little eyeliner brush and add a little bit to my crease. Basically just adding a line right where I cut the crease. It's gonna look really cute when you put the lashes on. It's because it's gonna be like you look down and it's just like, oh, bitch, you popping with that line of glitter. Watch. Definitely, if you use this like all over your lid or anything like that, just let it dry for a second. Like fan it down, let it dry for a second before you look up. Because if you look up before it's dry, it's gonna get like everywhere. So just beware. So for lashes today, I'm gonna use my Cocoa Lashes in Demi G. So this is the finished eye look. I'm going to do the other eye off camera and then I'm going to come back and do my face. Okay, so the foundation I'm using, because this is like a going out makeup look, I'm using the Hourglass Stick Foundation in the shade Almond. Yeah, Almond. The reason I like to use this foundation is because it doesn't oxidize. So like other foundations I use, like drugstore foundations or even like my Born This Way, the Too Faced foundation that I use, that one kind of oxidizes a little bit sometimes. This one pretty much stays the same color throughout the whole night, so it doesn't oxidize or anything. And then it makes me look airbrushed, and no other foundation that I have makes me look as airbrushed as this one and like makes my skin look as smooth as this one does. So this is always the one that I go to when I'm going out or if I know that I need my makeup to last all day. And it's my perfect skin tone. So this foundation has a bunch of shade ranges. Like there's pretty much a shade for everyone, which you really can't say for a lot of brands. But Hourglass is really good about like including dark skinned women and like people of color, which is why I support Hourglass foundations. So a lot of foundations you can't find a good shade match for darker women or pretty much anyone that's like a shade darker than me. Like usually I can find my foundation color, but it's the darkest one on the market. So for me to be like in the middle of the shade ranges in these foundations means that they definitely have like a good shade range, because there are plenty of people that are way darker than me. So a lot of these brands need to step it up, because mocha, mahogany, cocoa is not the darkest shade, and they need to step it up. And I'm just using the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush to blend this out. This brush was like $6, I think. And it blends out stick foundations really nicely, so I like to use this one. One tip that I have for people that are going out though, like people that are going to be going out and taking pictures with flash, definitely make sure that you're matching your foundation color to your neck and not just your face. Because if you have a foundation color that's too dark for your, neck, but I don't know, if you have a foundation color that doesn't match your neck, it literally just looks bad all over. So if you do have one that's too dark for you or too light for you, blend it down your neck so that it blends a lot better and you don't have that like ghost face when you take pictures. So even if you did like match yourself wrong, just blend the foundation like down your neck, because I have like a couple shades that I matched myself wrong, but to make the foundation work, I'll just blend it down my neck a little bit so that it doesn't look as bad. For concealer, I'm using the LA Girl concealer that I always use in the shade Fawn. And just putting that a little bit under my eyes. Okay, I think concealer is where a lot of people go wrong with their makeup. This is how you avoid Ghostface with concealer. Make sure that your concealer is like maximum 2 shades lighter than your skin tone. Because I don't know, it depends. If you know how to blend it out to where like it doesn't look bad if you use a couple shades lighter than your skin tone, fine. But if you're like just getting into makeup and you're not exactly sure how to blend it out and how to make colors work, I think you should just like maximum go 2 shades lighter than your skin tone. because any lighter, it can go Ghostface really quickly. So my tip would definitely just be a couple shades lighter than your skin tone, 2 or 3. Because if you go any lighter, it's just gonna look really bad and like really ashy under your eyes. And that's with any skin tone. It's not just like it's not just people of color. That's the main way to like avoid flashback, because a lot of people get flashback in this area where they highlighted or where they put powder on their face. So definitely just making sure that you're matching your concealer correctly is going to help with flashback too. And then another way to really avoid Ghostface or flashback is to make sure you're not using a powder that's too light for you. If you're my skin tone, I'd probably say like stay away from the translucent powders that are like completely white, or the ones that are like fair. I would lean more towards the ones that are like, this one is the Maybelline Shine Free loose powder and this one's in the shade medium. So I'd say if you're my skin tone or darker, lean more towards either the medium translucent powders or the dark translucent powders, because the white ones are just going to create the biggest flashback ever. And if you're fair, I would probably say just be careful with using like the Airspun powder. I know that one has hella flashback. And then like certain drugstore powders have really bad flashback. So just be aware, like do a flash test or look up some like reviews and stuff like that, because a lot of people will tell you on YouTube like which powders have flashback and which ones don't. So just do your research before you put on the wrong powder for going out in the nighttime, because if you can use whatever powder you want if you're going out in the daytime. Nighttime is when you need to worry about what powder you're using and what color powder you're using, because that's when the flashback is gonna get you, and you're gonna get cropped out of the pictures. Nobody's gonna want you in their pictures because you looking like Flashback Mary. Like, that's not cute. You don't want to be the flashback friend. You just have to do your research. Definitely go on YouTube and do your research. Look up people's videos that are like the same skin tone as you, so you can kind of get a little bit of tips and tricks and see, you know, what powders work for their skin tone. But the Maybelline one that I've been using definitely doesn't have any flashback, so that one's really good for nighttime. So this is where y'all be getting ashy right here under the bake areas. I'm about to show you a little trick. This is my trick to making sure that I don't end up with flashback at the end of the night. So I'll take my Maybelline Fit Me pressed powder in Mocha, which is my actual skin tone, and then I'll go in and wipe off any excess powder that I have under my eyes, and kind of use this powder to set the rest of my face, and also make sure that I'm not too light under my eyes so you won't get flashback. So you usually use a loose powder that's like a little bit lighter than your skin tone to set underneath your eyes, obviously because that's where you highlighted, and then just go back in with like a pressed powder or maybe a loose powder that's the same skin tone as you, so that you can kind of balance it out and you don't end up looking ashy. Now I'm bronzing with the Black Radiance contour kit that I always use. I need to branch out. I always use this. Shrink my forehead. To highlight, I'm going in with my e.l.f. Blush Gems highlight. I like this one for going out looks, or maybe if I'm like going to work or something like that, just because I know it'll last for a long time. For inner corner highlight, I'm going in with this shade right here. That's like just a gold color, and it's called Dahlia. I'm just putting a little bit in my inner corner to brighten up my eyes. So I just went in with the Anastasia lip gloss that I always use, because I just felt like I needed to keep this look looking normal without going over the top, because if I use like any of the lip color, it would look crazy. So I just used a nude lip with this over the top eye look, and I think it looks good. So yeah, this is my going out eye makeup / how to avoid flashback look. So hopefully those tips helped a lot of people that have problems with flashback, and just some inspiration for people to, you know, go out of their box with their makeup when they're going out. So please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and keep a lookout for my next video, and subscribe to my social medias too. Forgot about that. But yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video.